Man. I think we're good. I think we're good to go. I want to start this off by simply saying, don't forget your people that's behind the wall during the holidays. I want to start off immediately by saying that, because I gotta be all the way real with y'all, man. I remember sitting behind the wall, and it wasn't me. Shout out to my people that made sure I wasn't forgot. But I would every year I would see people on the inside of those walls that never ever got a visit, never got on the phone, never got a piece of mail. What's going on? None of that. You know what I'm saying? I see you, Austin. And I think about those same individuals, man. And I'm not saying these dudes were saints or they didn't do something that called for them to be deserted. I don't know. But I just know that there's people behind the wall that never, ever, ever. You understand what I'm saying? They never get blessed with the opportunity to get love. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's not going to visit. Everybody ain't on the phone. Everybody's not getting mail. Any of that. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely want to take the time out to say, man, if you got people behind the wall, pick up that phone, man. You know what I'm saying? Send them an email, whatever. You know what I mean? I see you. I see somebody just said they never had nobody. But my whole thing is, don't forget your people. Don't forget your people. Take a second, take a moment, you know, show them love. Send them $20 for conversation. Let them get it. Let them get a holiday pack or something, man. In VA, we had holiday packs. So every quarter they would release this package. It was just commissary items we couldn't get on a regular basis, but it was a really important thing. You know what I'm saying? Like if you got that, it was like you felt love, man. You got to get the hot chocolate they didn't have the rest of the year. They might have had the Folgers or something on there that because where I was at, they didn't really have that. They would have different things, and some of the things that were on there remind you of home. You know what I'm saying? So it was a benefit, man. Somebody said, and I love when y'all ask questions. I love when the questions come. Somebody had asked my perspective on the youth, and they asked, "Do I think that the youth are worse today or back then?" And my response is always the same. I don't look at it like that. I don't say this generation is worse because the problems and the things that exist in this time are different than what existed in our day. When I grew up, you could go ride bike. Parents said go ride bikes. You'll be out there riding bikes 10 hours. Ain't no cell phone, no way to connect back with your people. They wouldn't know where you at. Now, nah, you wouldn't dare. It's a different day and time. Social media is a whole nother thing. You know what I'm saying? So for me, I just want to say this about the youth, man. I'm here for y'all. I'm not one of them old heads that's trying to act young. Not that. And dad, I can say that now. Got grays in the beard. But I am an old head that I'm always trying to hear what y'all got to say. To the young people, I'm always trying to hear what y'all got to say. I want to know about the problems that y'all face. I want to see if I can give y'all some wisdom when it comes to those problems. I just want to be what OGs are supposed to be. And shout out to all the real OGs, man, because there are OGs out here that are definitely there for the youngins. You know what I'm saying? I think sometimes we expect for us to go talk to a youngin and they just listen to every word we say and snap to it. It don't work like it didn't work like that when we was young and people try to come holler at us. It took patience, and when you look back at the people that really like left a positive mark on your life, those were the people that really kept getting there with you, sitting there with you, being present with you. You know what I'm saying? Somebody also recently asked, how do I manage to focus on my goals? It's a great question. My focus now, present day, really easy for me to focus on my goals. even more so now. I just had a son. No excuses, right? I'm all focused. I'm not even playing. I feel like if you got a family, you need to be focused, right? But before all that, when I first came home, coming home from prison, um, really, really not understanding the things that I should be focused on. Like, it's really easy when you getting ready to come home from prison, you know you're supposed to get a job, XYZ, but you can lose focus quick. And when I came home, I walked out into a pandemic. It was a pandemic. I tell this story a lot because it was real, right? So it was kind of hard to keep the focus. I see you, Shartez, man. It's kind of hard to keep the focus when the whole world is upside down and we got crazy stuff going on, right? But at the same time, I kind of did keep my focus because if I weren't focused on anything else, I was focused on staying free. There was no way I was going to go back. To the best of my ability, do things happen? Yes. I'm not one of them dudes that say, oh, 100,000% never. No, I can't say that. Things happen. Innocent people go. Sometimes people trying to defend family, whatever. Like, things happen. I just want to chill. I want to live to 100. I want to be old and free. But the reason I'm able to focus on my freedom, which is basically the cornerstone of the rest of my work, you know what I'm saying? What I do is because I want to live free in every way that I can. When I first came home from prison, I was physically free, but I wasn't mentally free. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's different types of freedom. When I say stay free, I mean in a multitude of different ways. I don't mean just walk up out the prison, because there's a video of me walking up out the prison, but mentally you could see I was checked out. I was still inside the prison. I'm out there in street clothes, people talking to me. Physically, I'm outside the fences, no handcuffs. Mentally, I'm inside the fences, handcuffs still on. And that happens to a lot of us. It may not be exhibited the same way through us all, but if you pay attention, you're going to see it. You know what I'm saying? You're definitely going to see it. You're going to see it manifesting people in different ways. It could be anxiety. It could be XYZ. It could be depression. It could, whatever. It could be lack of motivation. There's a good percentage of people, when they come home from prison, they don't even try to go out the house unless it's work. That's it. I'm not saying that's necessarily wrong. I'm not trying to. But when you're finally free, like, you got to go live life. That's part of the deprocess, or the processing of the trauma. That's shedding layers. That's going to network and be part of communities. These are things that are necessary. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of people, when they come home, they're not free. And this is why you see a large percentage, unfortunately, what they say, more than half, go back. Go back. But that's none of us, and that's none of our people, right? Nonetheless, that's why I get up here and have these conversations, man. Somebody once asked too, how are lifers living in there mentally? And I'm gonna tell you this: the lifers that I know, the individuals that are never coming home, they are some of the most chill, respectful individuals you'll probably ever meet. Hands down. Of course, there's exceptions to the rule. But typically, those who dealt the most chaos in this world, those who have whatever, got the most shadow, I don't know, whatever you want to say, those men are typically the most calm and reserved. The ones that's pushing negativity in the environment, a lot of times these is dudes that's not taking life serious. They haven't learned the lesson yet that they needed to learn. Lifers then learned the lesson. A vast majority, they're unfortunately in a place where that is their home. So exactly, they don't want to mess up nothing they got going on. This is probably going to be the best that they can get it, especially when you see certain lifers on prisons for like 20 years straight. There's a reason they're there that long. And I'll say there's this thing that happens like when you're in this, if you're the type of life in the system where I was at anyways, if you're the type of lifer that's respectful and you didn't really cause no problems like that, you get a certain level of respect back from the staff, etc. And I done seen them dudes have a little bit more leeway with things, honestly. You know what I'm saying? When it just came to overall how they were living. And maybe that's because they were really conscious of the fact that they were not going anywhere, the staff. I don't know. But, you know, nonetheless, it's a thing. Everybody in there that's got light, I mean, you got some people that mentally they're not able to take it, but a vast majority, they're I'm not gonna say they're good, but they're strong enough mentally that they endure and they keep living forward. They're not in there causing the chaos. And here's something that a lot of people don't know, and you can go look this up behind me. The individuals that do longer sentences are less likely to come back to prison. It's unfortunately, it's the end, and I'm not gonna say unfortunately, because nobody should want to come back, but it's unfortunate that it's the individuals that only do like 2 years, 3 years, 5, these quote unquote, because time is time, but these quote unquote shorter prison bids, these are typically the individuals that recidivate and come right back. Typically, not everybody. I'm not saying that some of us, we do one day, we never come back. But I'm just saying when you look at the time, right? Another thing is I seen a lot of dudes cause problems at the end of their bid. Like I watched some members turn their way that they lived in there and cause some. I seen all types of stuff in there, but it was typically at the end of the sentence. I do know some that they didn't give any time. Well, no, I know people that definitely filed for pardons and got their pardons approved. I know individuals that more so that made parole. You know, individuals did 25 years. 30 years were finally able to make parole, you know, and that's got to be a thing in itself, because it was something for me. I got locked up when I was 19. I came home at 36, but I'm thinking about some of the individuals, they did 33 years. You know, I came home in my mid 30s. Some individuals getting locked up at 19, they're not coming home to 50 or 60, and that's pretty common, especially in certain states. It's unfortunate, but you imagine? Because for me, in my 30s, I still was able to build a life. And I'm not saying you can't build a life in your 60s or 70s. I'm not saying that. But it's harder to. It's harder to. You're gone for 3 decades. Things have shifted. The individuals that I know that have been in there that long, a lot of times, they don't have nobody left on the outside. Unless they had like siblings or something. Typically, they don't have nobody else. You know, maybe a cousin or something. But that's it. And it's one of them situations, honestly, man, where, oh no, man, like, let me break this down to you. So, as we all know, anybody that's ever been there, prison is a very abnormal place. People keep saying that prison is designed, right? That prison is designed to rehabilitate. I wonder how many people that have been behind prison walls actually feel like prison helped rehabilitate. With a truthful and transparent answer. Some people will say, yeah, and I get that. But a whole lot of people are going to say there was no real reentry there. There was no real help. You know what I'm saying? Things have to shift in the system, because as I'm sitting here and I'm talking about lifers, I'm thinking about short timers that cause problems. All of it, man. It's, to me, I'm not going to say it's by design, but it's a system that breeds certain things. You know? And what you would think is one way is complete and total opposite. Somebody once told me that jail isn't supposed to help. I told him that was a unique statement, because society as a whole, taxpayers, adults, people that are concerned with safety, they should want anybody that goes to jail or prison to come home rehabilitated and better. Like, I've sat across from the table from people that They don't believe for 1 second that anybody from their family is ever going to get locked up. They don't think it's never going to happen to them, and they don't agree that people in prison should get second chances. But every time I bring them this right here, they don't have nothing to say other than some foolishness probably. But I say, don't you want everybody that's coming home from prison and jail to be better, to be rehabilitated, so they don't come out here and commit more negativity to the community or whatever? Because that happens, right? We should definitely not want our jails and prisons to be places that don't rehabilitate. Our jails and prisons should definitely be rehabilitating, helping individuals, and making sure that when they return to society, they're better for it. You know? Because if not, well, things can continue to occur. That's it. If you got an individual, a loved one that's doing long sentences and they're getting ready to come home after, let's say, 20 years, I'll continue to say mental health support. Must get mental health support for your loved ones. If you're coming home from incarceration, you just came home, mental health support, mental health support, mental health support. Make sure you get a checkup mentally. You have been inside, or your loved one's been inside, an abnormal environment full of nothing but trauma. Just to be in the environment of prison is trauma. Just to wake up in the morning and realize once again, after maybe you've been able to dream, that you are in prison is very traumatic. To be woke up out of your sleep year after year, every single day at 5:45 or 3 if you ain't already up or whatever, by a whistle and guards screaming is very abnormal. To hear the cell doors close and clink, the keys on the guards, to smell the air. If you ever smelt the inside of a prison or jail, you know what I'm talking about. All of these things are very traumatic. The food is traumatic. I remember the first time I tried to drink a milk in jail. I was starving and thirsty. I tried to drink the milk because I didn't want to drink the water out the back of the toilet. You know, that's the first time I seen the water fountain on the back of the toilet. I went to drink the milk. It was the worst milk I ever drank in my entire life. Give it a month, though, it was the best milk I ever had in my entire life. Which says something, because unfortunately, but fortunately, us as human beings, we have the ability to adapt at a high level if we want to. But prison is very traumatic. It's a place where even the lights that never shut off cause trauma. You know? The mattresses, state-issued boots. State-issued boots they gave us were like strapping stones on your feet or something. I don't know. I mean, I think, and I could be wrong, and I know, but it's like all of it was designed to punish. Every single thing. Metal benches, blah, 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 X, Y, Z. And I know a lot of stuff is like safe, you know, stuff like that. So they can't hide stuff, blah, blah, blah. But man, it's a different place. It's a place you'll never forget. I believe wholeheartedly 1 hour, maybe even not that, maybe 30 minutes of being locked in a cell will shift you. If you smart, you'll let it. You will. And I want to say this too. There's difference. Everybody keep asking. There's differences between lockup and solitary confinement too. Because when you're in solitary confinement, the noises are louder. The noises are louder. The cold cell is traumatic. The bullpen, whatever you call it, trying to sleep on a roll of toilet paper. You're hoping somebody comes, bonds you out, bails you out. But never mind that. Just getting ready to go to court. The cold cell. Freezing. You can only wear a jumper, short sleeve. And I remember when it came to transportation in VA, everybody had to be driven to Powhatan Correctional. They used to tell you got to use the bathroom before you leave because you're shackled. Wrists to your waist to your ankles, and you got a jumper on. And you're locked in the back of the van or the bus. And they tell you, you better use the bathroom before you go or you're going to use it on yourself. And It's about typically from the prison to Powhatan, depending upon where you're at, it's probably a 2 hour drive. In the morning, you done ate breakfast real quick. You done drank the little juice because you know you done woke up and you starving. Next thing you know, an hour and a half in the ride, you got to go to the bathroom. They say, well, and you get there and you think you can get into the porta. And sometimes you can get to a porta potty, but a lot of times you got to sit there. And it's these things that sit with me. You know, these are the things that help me keep my focus. There's nothing worse than that cold cell, man. Getting ready to go to court. I mean, there's other things that are worse, but I remember it. Oh, I remember it. Very, very, very traumatized. But again, get it. Prison is a punishment, jail is a punishment, but still should be rehabilitated. A lot of men and women are coming home worse off and not better. And that's not good. I look up at the group of individuals that came home around the time that I did. Not everybody's still here. Not everybody's still home. You know what I'm saying? It's real talk. It's a very unique situation when you on top of that are sitting in prison before you even get to go home and you're watching guys come back 2, 3, 4 times and you're still waiting your go. And I never had any type of like hate or animosity towards these. I was actually happy for them when they went home. But I was always let down like, and like, yo, if you knew that, you know what jail is, man. You know what prison is. For me, I don't forget it.